I don't read into the fact that they were all double-digit wins for the Suns too much in the regular season. What I do read into is the way in which they beat Minnesota.
Hank McCoy.
One of the storylines heading into this one is, of course, the way the Suns dominated the Timberwolves in the regular season. Now, we all know that playoffs are a different animal, but the Suns are 3-0 against the Timberwolves this season. All three games were blowouts. Phoenix won the first matchup by 18 points. They won the second matchup by 10 points, and they won the third matchup by 19 points. I think it was a differential of plus 47 total, if my math is correct on that one. How are you feeling about the switch up that could potentially happen in the playoffs, knowing that the intensity level goes up? You're seeing a team multiple times throughout the series. The Wolves probably have understanding that they might need to throw some different things at the Suns.
I think it's going to be more competitive. I think it would be closer. But I will say this, and I know people have been predicting the Suns will win game one and then lose game two, and it'll go 5 or 6 games. I think it is imperative that the Timberwolves come out and win game one. Because if they lose game one, oh boy, it gets really, really, really tight for them in game two, knowing that if they lose that game, that's 5 in a row they've lost to this team, and they're going back to Phoenix. Oh, yeah, good luck with that. I just think they need to win game one. And I think if you're the Suns and you beat them in game one, you control the series and you can dominate from that point forward, because I feel like you've kind of taken their will at that point.
I don't read into the fact that they were all double-digit wins for the Suns too much in the regular season. What I do read into is the way in which they beat Minnesota. Minnesota's game is predicated on large, big guys, right? And what are the Suns tailored to do? Spread the floor out in a lot of ways, and then find the soft spots in the mid-range and take advantage of it. Those are the deficiencies of Minnesota. They're not good at guarding that. It's not as if Naz Reid's going to turn into a 6'7" wing guy all of a sudden that's good at closing out and all these things. It's not like Rudy Gobert can change who he is as a player. Sure, can you scheme a little differently? Yes, I believe that Chris Finch will, but I don't think that it's going to dramatically change some of what we've seen. What could change, what could hurt the Suns is, do you have an immensely cold shooting night or nights from beyond the arc, which we've seen them do this year, that screws the whole thing up? Because you have to hit these shots when you spread out Minnesota to win, and this team's shown a propensity at times to go MIA with that stuff. I think that's Minnesota's greatest hope, is that the Suns don't find their rhythm in shooting.
Yeah, I mean, those first quarters, I think, too, are going to be a huge factor in this series as well, because we have seen the Suns be able to start games really well, which has kind of been ups and downs for them throughout the season. So hopefully they can continue to do that in this series. But I feel like when the Suns get out that big on a team and force that many turnovers, especially considering the Timberwolves calling card is doing that to their opponents, that's got to be a smack in the mouth. You know what I mean? And then it's an uphill battle from there for the Wolves to get back into it. Again, I do think that it's a difference between regular season and playoffs as far as the desire to come back from a deficit as large as we've seen them get into against the Suns this regular season. But that's going to be a huge factor. If the Suns can continue to do that early in games, I think that'll help them a lot.
Yeah, I think the other factor is going to be Nurk.
Yeah.
Nurk's got to stay out of foul trouble. He's got to be, because when he's on the court, he makes such an impact against, Rudy Gobert. When he's not, then they start to get into trouble and it gets a little bit easier and the offense flows a little easier for Minnesota. So I think that's also another key to the game. But we've always known all season long, if they play with effort and they limit their turnovers, they're going to be in every single game. And they've shown that if they could do those two things and hit from the perimeter, they're damn near unbeatable. So if they can continue that momentum against the Timberwolves and continue to do all the things that they've been trying to improve on over the course of the last 10 games of the season, they should be okay, as long as they don't have what we saw against the Clippers randomly in the middle of the series or at the beginning of the series.